Hey guys, welcome back to Three Swords Productions. Tonight it is Nathan and Steven. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We are going to do some commentary over some games we recorded the other night. It's actually part of our live stream, so if you guys were hanging out with us then you already got a sneak peek for the video. But if you weren't, then I hope you enjoy. We're going to switch over now.
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right, looks like we have Sanji versus Whitebeard. So this is going to be kind of a classic for the channel.
It's a good one, for sure. This is your kind of stock Sanji list at the moment.
Yeah, with some updates about to happen. I've been hanging out, looking through some YouTube channels recently to see what other Sanji ideas are floating out there. I actually stumbled across a channel. Shout out to Risu the Squirrel. For his updated Sanji list. He posted back at the end of April, I believe. I'm not sure if he's made updates since, but I've been playing around with his build quite a bit, and I have some updates to my own list that I would like to incorporate from him, so, you know, definitely shout out to that guy. If you haven't already subbed to him, please go do so. He seems really cool. So.
Yeah. And then on my side, we're just playing the Boatbeard version here, and we have Boatbeard in hand, which is usually pretty good.
You have Boatbeard in hand.
I've heard.
I have Moby Dick. Which part of the boat has a beard?
Okay, the most important part is the Moby Dick.
Not
so
up
that's
top,
what I have.
I'll tell you that. All right. So it looks like, oh, I see Radical Beam already. That's gonna be pretty good.
Yep. And there goes my life, and you can go.
I think so. I'll take my turn now. Okay, so we're gonna start out strong with Edward Weevil and a 2-drop here. Oh, okay. Actually, considering the classic 8K, and then I decided not to do the 8K swing. So you chose not to take that damage, no problem. And then we are going to Edward Weevil, and Bellamy. So
yeah, I think that's definitely better. You want it. These are the Bellamy seems less good against Newgate for sure. A 4 into 6 is kind of rough.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's like the consideration for just not even making the play, right? Is like Edward Weevil still needs something in order to attack up, and you know, of course, the Bellamy it needs a lot to attack up. So you know, we're probably not going to see the Bellamy attack very often this match.
Yeah. And
the Vista pickup off the life there was pretty good.
It's good. This obviously you have nothing in your deck to hit unless I have something to pair with the Vista.
Yeah, but you are going to have those 10-mana turns where you could potentially ace, or you can you have like Seaquake in your deck to like reduce costs as well. So you have a few ways to like work with the Vista on my board here. So I think it's a nice tool to just kind of pocket for later. And we are going to continue playing to the board here. We do have to consider playing around Jet Pistol in case you play in your deck, so we're going to want to make our attacks before we play the characters, unless we are forced to play the character first. That's going to be a huge consideration that we have to make.
Yeah, you definitely want to get your attacks, get your turn planned out, and then go for anything you want to go for. There's also odd considerations. There's the Marco on board, which I could block with. I shouldn't ever unless I'm at the life threshold, but you do have to consider the option of, hey, if I go really hard too, you could just block.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know what situations I could put you into that makes you want to block with your Marco there.
I don't know.
It's going to be pretty much Marco's just staring at me for a little while, you know. Play the Marco just to be Dawn efficient.
And get in for 7, sure.
Yep. So we want to play the Zoro first so that we can untap the 2, and then you can use that 2 to put on Sanji here. And then we're going to swing in to try and eat a 2K. 2K is actually a bit more valuable out of Boatbeard's hand than it is Strawbeard, because they pack in with a lot of 2Ks, but Boatbeard not so much. Has a lot of 1Ks to get out.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that a lot of those 1Ks are kind of part of the gameplay.
Yeah, they're definitely important to the deck in some fashion.
Yeah, it definitely feels more mission mission critical than of course the 2Ks do out of Strawbeard.
All right, so we got lots of options in the hand from my side here. Something like a Squad Vista is definitely an option. Could take out a Zoro that way.
What is the text on the Jozu?
Jozu says, Jozu's a 4-Dawn 4K, that if you have 1 or less life, I believe, you can equip 1 Dawn to him to give him Rush.
Okay, so you have to be at 1 in order to do that.
Yeah, you have to be at low life to be able to do that.
All right. I think I really like the King Do here. Continuing like 7K, it's very hard for me to attack into that.
Yeah.
You're basically just establishing characters that are going to live forever. And it can pressure both my face very efficiently as well as pressuring my characters, like as much as you decide you want to pressure those. Yeah. So I really like playing.
There's also the option in hand. I have, Thatch, the 6-mana 8K.
Okay, similar line there.
Yeah.
Just what do you want to do with that extra Dawn?
Yeah,
really?
I do have a chopper in hand, which I could play out. That's like something that could be considered here.
Well, to be fair, I have really nothing besides like Punk Gibson that's going to interact with your chopper. So if you
Yeah.
play it this turn, you go like, and you were to go 5-drop plus the chopper, like that chopper is basically there until you need it. So a lot more. I think that Dawn is like a lot more important later on in the game.
I think that's fair.
This is why I like that play a lot. But then again, I really like the Thatch too. So we are going to Seaquake, and that is going to your scored Seaquake is just going to destroy Edward Weevil there.
I like playing Seaquake because it doesn't counter out, and Vista does counter out. Squad already put the body on the board.
Yeah.
I want to utilize the cards in my hand that won't counter, just for flexibility later on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it looks really solid there. And I am definitely not happy having to defend out of 6K attacks and get my board eaten without you attacking into them.
Yeah.
Leaving me with a 4K here is pretty brutal. So we're gonna see if I'm able to pressure you. It looks like you are considering playing the chopper.
Yeah, I think I play the chopper and then hold up a Radical Beam here.
Okay. Yeah, overall, I think I would have preferred to see the King Do play here or the Thatch.
I think that's fair
because I think you waste a lot of tools. But then again, you are staring down 3 attacks on this turn, and I have a little bit of Dawn, and you have no life. So
yeah,
I think King Do plus the chopper would have been good. But I certainly respect this line here. Now it looks very unfavorable for me to win because I have to make a lot of attacks, and you are leaving open Radical Beam as well. So
yeah, that's kind of what my thought was too.
For sure. And, playing the squad down with that's a 5K?
It's a 5K.
Yeah, that's certainly not nothing against my leader, too. So, respect.
Yeah, oftentimes against Sanji, I do like having multiple attacks because they're really good at getting out of like really big attacks with the Sword Style and the Deathwinks and the 6K counters. So being able to pressure those in a different way by going wide with many attacks, I like a lot.
Okay. All right, and we are considering all of the lines that we have to take because we know we're gonna eat a lot of attacks on the serve back here. We also know that the first attack that you make is probably just gonna be like a chump block with your Marco because at this point of the game it's like just free value for you.
Yeah.
So we're considering all those lines. We're gonna want to touch your life for as much as we can to get as many cards away from you as possible. We also know that unless the attack is 9K, we're not going to get more than one card from you.
Yep.
And if it does come across for more than 9K, well, that's the one that's going to eat a block. And you also have the choppers. So you've put me in a really, really tight box here. And that this is the power of Whitebeard against, these aggro decks that are out here. Because, in a lot of ways, Sanji is playing like Zoro. So, you can kind of box in Zoro as well, where it's like, hey, your attack has to be big or else you're not going to get enough out of me. And, unfortunately, if it's too big, I'm just going to block. So
I think one interesting thing that came out of that last turn that I played as well was that I actually turned your Sanji ability back on.
Yeah.
You were at 3 character limit for the Sanji ability there. So it could have been a consideration there to not give you that ability and instead say if you're going to play this big thing that you have to pay full price for it. But I liked going down the number of attacks still, but it was an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like one of the reasons that I just like the King Do there. You wasted. I feel like it was kind of a use of a lot of your resources in order to like clear the Edward Weevil, which you may have just gotten by swinging with your leader on it. To be honest,
it's fair.
That 6K attack on the 5K, it's really tough for me to waste 2 cards in order to like get out of that attack. And I feel like you know that too. So it was a lot, but certainly a 5K squad here is going to look just as strong as a 7K will. So the difference is, can I attack the squad back? With the King Do, it's like I'm kind of wasting my time attacking the King Do because your leader is 6K and I have to be like crazy, like efficient, even swings unless I'm swinging with Mihawk. It's a little awkward for me to make those attacks. So, but certainly it's 5K here plus 1 character gone is like probably very similar.
Yep, just considering some plays here. Things like Jozu are now in hand, which do have the rush to be able to swing back on the board.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I'm just going to open up with a squad and just see where my attack in goes for.
Certainly the Jozu is like just threatening, and I'm basically understanding that, hey, what you're attacking me with right now represents quite a bit, but I know that you either through Luffy, Ace, or Jozu, you have a lot going on. It's going to be really hard for me to deal with that.
Yeah. Pitching 3 there because Moby Dick is online. So 7K attack came across. This is the downside of the Sanji stuff. No 2K counters ever. It's always 1K counters or events. So pressuring them with awkward numbers can be awkward for them.
All right. Sorry about that pause there real quick.
Yeah, so I think we were considering Jozu lines, talking about that here.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Jozu's going to come down, kind of as predicted, through, Luffy, Ace, or Jozu. We have a lot of rushers coming at us. I don't think your build is playing Zoro, but, we certainly know that there's a lot of good Whitebeards to come across the table with.
Level Beam is good here. Gets out of the 7k attack while also drawing a card. Super good.
Unfortunately, though, it is going to eat 2 of my Dawn, and I was kind of bluffing that I would have 3-sword style Onigiri, which, of course, I did not. If that were the case, then I kind of would have waited a little bit, let those attacks happen. And then at the moment where I, represent that I only have 1 Dawn remaining, you just go, okay, well, now I can clear your board, and there's no punish for this happening.
And that is what happened, is I was able to attack the board.
Whitebeard's Pirates comes down to look at the top 5 cards and potentially add a Whitebeard to hand.
Yeah. I should pretty much always be adding counter power here. It's never usually something that I'm going to need, so.
Looks like we're going to pick up a King Do.
Yeah, just another 1k counter.
Yep.
Looks like I'm putting Moby Dick and Seaquake to the bottom, so not upset by that either. So
putting Atmos to the bottom, huh?
Yeah.
Not something that's incredibly relevant. What makes you pick up the King Do instead of the Atmos?
I like looking at it more.
Flavor. King Do's like more jacked.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's fair.
I don't think I'm ever committing either to the board. I have another Jozu in hand, so that's probably I'm playing towards that next turn.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel pressured by my board at all? Because you do have 2 blockers. So you could just say, like, I don't need to play all these rush guys. I can just, like, play out Thatch. I can just play out King Do. I can just play out whatever. And then just, like, what are you going to do? Because I have, like, Marco on table blocking Mihawk every time it swings.
Yes. There definitely is that. My thought of play here is that I need to, like, get through the events in your hand. And generally my numbers are going to be high enough that your events are still good to get out of the attacks. So I need to, like, literally just have you play them.
Right, yeah. So you're just doing that through sheer number of attacks.
Yeah.
Every time this happens, though, I do feel a little bit, like, happy because I know I'm attacking through kind of a wall, but it's like when I'm just looking at, like, Marco and just Chopper, in my brain, I go, okay, there is an attack sequence which actually lets me get through to your life, and you do have to counter out with cards. Now, you certainly have a lot of events in your hand, so that's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I go, okay, there's a narrow window for this happening. And certainly, like, a 3-sword style Onigiri kind of throws off your math, too.
Yeah.
So, I that's why I think I'm asking mostly, is it more correct to just play out, like, bigger threats and say,
so do you think
I'm ending the game faster than you?
Do you think having 2k more attack on one of my attacks matters more than an extra attack here, is my question, I guess.
Yeah, so I think that all of the rush characters that you play, there are attacks that are going to happen no matter what.
Okay.
So, like, if I play this turn, I'll get 1 extra attack. But also, if I play out King Do this turn and then I play Jozu next turn, okay, that's still that extra attack. It's just I also have King Do now.
I agree that is the way that it goes. But when you have 2 Jozus in hand, and I'm looking to end it on the second turn,
yeah,
I feel like those attacks just are about the same then.
That's probably fair. And also another thing is, like, when Jozu comes across, he's probably going to be swinging for 6, and there's a world where I counter out with, like, 2 1Ks. But if you have, like, King Do on the board and swing for 9, that's an event plus a card.
Sure.
And that changes the math quite a bit.
Okay.
I think. It basically pressures those events, like, more than like just Jozu does. But
okay.
Certainly at the point where Moby Dick is online, like, it doesn't matter at all.
I don't think it super matters, but yeah,
no, I don't think so.
It is curious. I mean,
it's just a question I'm asking only because on the Sanji side, I like I said, I do see those opportunities for attack, and I go, oh, maybe under this world, like, where he, maybe he thinks, like, oh, he's, like, so close to dead. Let me just get in with my Marco, and then you turn the Marco sideways, and I go, that's the moment where I get you, because, like, you didn't establish those King Do's along the way.
I mean, it's also good if you're actually thinking that, hey, that extra attack power, this King Do on the board is better. That is more counter power in my hand. Jozu counters for 2 instead of 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is literally better in hand.
Yeah. I think the Jozu is, like, necessary to come down on the table. I'm just not exactly sure when, or if, like, I think one thing, because you were saying, okay, we'll end the game in, like, the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that math is off. maybe it's actually 3 turns, not 2.
Sure.
Because of the number of counters that Sanji has access to, can actually throw you off a little bit. Now, I don't think you're entirely wrong in thinking that, hey, this doesn't matter, but yeah. It's something that I'm just like, I'm certainly not happy about this matchup. Boatbeard seems to like really beat me up more than Strawbeard does,
Right.
For so many obvious reasons. But those are moments that I'm celebrating in my head.
Yeah, I get that.
And Punk Gibson going to come down and tap the Marco there. Ooh, that feels really big. Now, in my brain, that was that moment that I needed. So now we are just 1 card in hand. We are going to take this, and it feels kind of mid because we see there's probably not going to be another attack happening this turn. So even if that was like we're kind of threatening 3 sword style Onigiri.
You thought though.
Well, it's okay. I don't have it. It's 2-1 case.
Instead, it is Jozu again. The kind of play that I lined up.
Yeah.
So.
And Jogozu going to come down. I left all the Dawn open for an event to be in my life, and there wasn't. So
no, I think that's fair.
Those 2 cards did not. And the Punk Gibson actually was an event, but certainly the trigger there was better than the counter power.
Oh yeah, it stops a whole attack that could be for more than the 4K.
More. That's what I was thinking too. This attack could be the one, and also it's very possible you just don't have another rusher in hand too.
Right. Yeah.
So that actually could have ended it. But funny enough, with the way the game lined up, just a big attack with that chopper would have also done it.
Yeah. And then just coming across the board.
And this should just be for as much as you can make it.
Yeah,
really.
it should be for all of it. I don't.
Yeah.
You could.
You're keeping a Radical Beam back just because you're not sure, which I think is an amount of respect only garnered from playing against Stephen Abbott from 3 Swords Productions many times.
There's like a love beam and a love beam and a love beam chain here that
the amount of respect, the death wink that comes out, and you're just like, shit, he was able to weave it out. You love to see
fearful.
it. So love to see it. All right, man. All right, and the video where it just ended and where we're talking right now might be a little bit jarring just because I did accidentally stop recording instead of switching screens there. Kind of funny on our end, but that was a good game.
Yeah, I thought it was able to appreciate the power of Sanji and the fear that Sanji put into me a little bit over the years here.
The respect that you showed with that leaving 1 Dawn open, it was small, but it makes me feel very good about myself. So I'll take that. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of today's video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. We're approaching 1,000, which just after starting the channel in late January, hitting the over 600 mark feels so overwhelmingly special, and I really appreciate everyone who tunes in basically every day to watch the videos. You guys are so awesome, and it makes me really happy to see you all commenting and sharing the video. Like I said, I was scrolling through other people's Sanji videos, and to see the channel get shout outs is so awesome. So please go check out those other guys. And Lamb Chop, I see you, bro, tagging me in videos every single day. I'm gonna play against you, and I'm taking you down. All right, guys, that's it. We will see you in the next one.